So hi guys, Geography Mathematics on the screen once again. So today we'll be talking on measures of dispersion. So measure of dispersion. Now to other measures of central tendencies and under statistics, we have a lot of measures at which we make use of. Other. So today I want us to consider under measure of central tendency to consider variance, standard deviation, quartile, semi-quartile range, percentile, and these are some of the questions that you are going to meet or encounter in JAM, which is part of JAM syllabus for year 2026 JAM. So follow me as I. So these are what house I'm saying. So we have quartile, we have semi-quartile range, semi-quartile range. So we have standard deviation. Talk about standard deviation. We talk about variance. Talk about percentile. We talk about this side, and we'll also talk about what? Range. So these are some of the key things that you need to know as a JAM bite, as an aspiring JAM student for year 2026. So quartile, semi-quartile range, standard deviation, variance, percentile, decide, and range. So follow me as I take you on a journey to more learning. So let's start from range. So let's start from range. What do we mean by range? Now, range. Now, in statistics, we have what we call set of data. And in set of data, we have, it's going to start from a particular value and then it says at a particular value. So when an experiment is actually taking place or when an experiment is done, there are some set of values or numbers or data that are collected. So we have the highest number and the lowest number attached to it. So what range means is when you have a set of data sets, so your range is equal to the highest number minus the lower number. That is your range. So range is equal to highest number minus lowest number. This is what we mean by range. So for example, let's assume you are giving example. Let's assume you are giving the 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. And you ask you for your range in the set of data. What is going to be your range? Your range is very simple. Your range is going to be equal to the highest, which is 10. That's the highest number you have here. 10 minus, and the lowest number is also 1 minus 1. So your range is going to be equal to 9. So this is what your range actually is. That's all about range. It's not hard, very simple as it for as this. That's what your range is. So let's go to standard deviation. Standard deviation. So what do you mean by standard deviation? So you can by standard deviation, and you can also denote it as SD. Standard deviation and SD. This is standard deviation. Now there's a relation that exists between standard deviation and variance. So when you are working in line with standard deviation, just take variance alongside. Standard deviation is still the same size as the square root of your variance. This standard deviation. The square root of your variance is your standard deviation. That means the square of your variance equals to what? The square of your standard deviation is equals to what? Your variance. That means variance is equals to SD square. That means your standard deviation square. That is your variance. So what is the formula for calculating standard deviation? from the standard deviation equals to the square root of the summation of x minus by x whole square divided by n, and then which means that your variance equals to what is equals to summation of x minus bar x squared divided by n. So this is your standard deviation and this is your variance. So this is how to get standard deviation and variance. So follow me, I'm going to give you more examples on that. But before we continue, let me also explain quartile and quartile, semi-meter, quartile, real, percentile, and deciles U. So you're going to take questions under that, and then we'll know that you're going to bring the class. So what do we mean by percentile? Percentile means percentile actually means dividing the cumulative frequency of a set of data by 100. You have the cumulative frequency of a particular set of data and dividing it into 100 equal parts. That is what we mean by percentile. Percentile is here from the word percentage. So percentile. So divided by 100. That is what's going to give you your percentile. So it can be asked to do for the 10th percentile, the 50th percentile, the 75th percentile, the 80th percentile. They are still what? Under percentile. So what it just means is that what you have divided by 100 times the cumulative frequency, you're going to get what? Where the position of the percentile lies, and you're going to get your value. How do we do this? Let me write on my board. So dividing the cumulative frequency to 100 equal parts. So dividing it into 100 equal parts, that's what's going to give you your percentile. What do you mean by cumulative frequency? Cumulative frequency means what is the total number of the frequency that you have? What is the total number of the number that you have in your set of data? Then when we start an example, you're going to get what I actually mean by cumulative frequency. How to get your cumulative frequency? Very simple and very easy. Just follow the class. That's this about percentile. This side. The side is still the same thing. It's still close by, and it is dividing the cumulative frequency to 10 equal parts. This side is to 10 equal parts. 1% is to 100 equal parts. Dividing the cumulative frequency to 10 equal parts. To 10 equal parts. This is what we mean by this side. So when you see the side, it means divide what you are given divided by 10 times the cumulative frequency. That's what it's going to show you the position at which the data you are looking for actually lies in. And when you get that, next thing is just pick your data and you get your answer. And you are true. So the next one is what? Quartile. So quartile is also something related to this. What is quartile? Permit me to clean my board. Quartile. This quartile. Quartile is still related to this. Is dividing the cumulative frequency to 4 equal parts. To 4 equal parts. That's what we mean by quartile. So quartile is dividing the cumulative frequency into 4 equal parts. So when you divide it into 4 equal parts, so you have what? Your quartile. So we have some quarter, we have three types. We have the lower quarter, we have the second quarter, and then we have the upper quarter. In some textbooks you see it as Q1, Q2, Q3. So the Q1 is the lower quarter, the Q3 is the upper quarter, and then the middle quarter or the second quarter, that is your Q2. And so that means we have lower quarter is what? Q1, second quarter, or / middle quarter, Q2, and then we have upper quarter, that is your Q3. So you can see this. So when you see this, I'm actually talking about what? Quarter. We are talking about quarter. So before I explain what I have down here, what do we mean by semi-interquartile range? I actually mentioned that before. So semi-interquartile range is the lower quartile, the upper quartile minus the lower quartile divided by 2. That's what we mean by semi-interquartile range. But before you can get to semi-interquartile range, you need to get to interquartile range first. So your interquartile range is equals to Q3 minus Q1. That is your interquartile range. Remember that when we were talking about range before, we said the highest minus what? Minus the lowest. That is our range, right? So in this we have quartile already, and then as we have the quartile already, now you see that it's telling us that what is going to be what? The highest one that we have here minus the lower one. That's we have Q3 minus Q1. Yeah, that's our interquartile range. Semi means what? When you divide two things into two equal parts, that's what semi means. So semi-interquartile range, semi-interquartile range is equals to, let me clean my up. Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. That is your semi-interquartile range. So now look at this is for ungrouped data. We have mean division for grouped data also. This is ungrouped. So for group, mean division for group, the solution of f is x minus bar x divided by summation of f. This is for group. So the first one we have is ungrouped, and then this for grouped data. Basically, I tried to explain this because of some students that will also be doing I'll be doing senior secondary school examination, either WAEC, GC, senior school examination like that. So you can come about grouped data. So you have to be more attentive. But majorly, most questions that do come with exam is usually for